Hello, I'm Ian Gascoigne. I'm presenting a webinar for MBL entitled Jurisdiction and Litigation Requirements for Defendants in Europe. This is an outline of those requirements, and I will be sketching out the territory which you need to bear in mind if you're acting for a claimant who wishes to issue a claim form and serve it on a defendant who is not within the jurisdiction of the court. In the agenda for this webinar, I will be covering the main jurisdiction rule applicable in England and Wales. I'll explain when permission is needed to serve a defendant who is not within England and Wales. That's partly the three-limb test I'll refer to, but there are some other exceptions to that. I'll also look at when defendants can challenge the grant of permission to serve them outside the jurisdiction. And I will briefly mention the Hague Choice of Court Convention of 2005. I want to emphasize that this presentation is not a substitute for detailed research in a particular situation in which you are required to advise a party. You will need to research that properly, but this is a sketch of the territory you'll need to consider. The first point I want to do is define what I mean by Europe. Somewhat misleading term. So the United Kingdom is exempt from this. So England and Wales are the jurisdiction we're talking about. Scotland and Northern Ireland specific rules apply there, which make it a lot simpler. I'm not going to be covering those, but I will be covering the question of service in the EU countries, which includes the Republic of Ireland, of course, and the other 26 countries in the EU, as well as other countries in Europe which are not part of the EU. Prior to Brexit, this territory used to be a lot simpler. If you had an EU defendant, there was one set of rules. If you had a non-EU defendant, there was another. But all that has now been swept away when the UK left the European Union. In a way, things are simpler because the rules now apply globally. So although I'm talking about Europe today, some of the cases I will be describing refer to defendants in other parts of the world. Don't be misled in thinking, though those don't apply if I've got a defendant in Europe. They do, because they use exactly the same test as you would for a defendant in Europe.